Hey lovely peeps, it is Susie Ashworth here, founder of the Converse School and the Baby Business School, and I am out in the grey. Look at it, can you see it? It's actually stopped raining, but it's pretty grim. I'm up north. I'm in Poulton, which is just around the corner from Blackpool, and yeah, I'm missing the sunshine of the south. Hello, whoever's watching, please say hi so I know who you are, and if perchance you are a member of the Baby Business School or the Converse School, can you do me a huge favour and or not the Converse School, the Baby Business School or the Pre and Postnatal Specialist Group, can you do me a huge favour and share the love in there? Hey April. So you've been in the Baby Business School this morning, and this has prompted this live. I'm just on the way to go and get some Calpol for Coco, who is still sick over a week later. So we're going to have to go to the doctors. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, the conversations in the Baby Business School this morning have prompted this live. And I think it's a really, really important one. And when anybody starts BBS, or when they start with me in my private coaching, I get them to go through their vision and identify what it is they want to achieve and why it's important to them. And even though I say this is something that should be revisited on a regular basis, people don't. And I know that this conversation for me today in the Baby Business School has made me think, I need to revisit the bigger picture for me and what my why is. Because when you're not clear on what your overall objective is, and why you're doing it, and you are presented with 1,000,001 different opportunities, and as if you focus on building your business and marketing your brand and sharing yourself on social media, writing blogs, vlogs, that kind of thing, you will get presented with more and more opportunities. But in the same way as people say about employment versus non-employment, you're either making your own dreams or you are helping somebody else make theirs. It's the same with all of the opportunities that get presented to us when we're not clear on what our overall objective is. Does that make sense? So, for example, yesterday I spoke to a friend who I haven't spoken to for a long time, and she's just been promoted in her business, and she's looking after all of the learning and development and training for her company right across the UK. And so the first thing that I said to her was, if you need anybody to do any mindset training, you know where I am. And weirdly, she had mentioned it to me before in the past, but I hadn't really taken it seriously. And so when she said, well, yeah, of course, Suze, totally, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it is an amazing opportunity. But this morning I was thinking, how does this fit in to my big vision? So how does it fit into my vision of empowering women to achieve, to have the confidence to go out and achieve anything that they desire? Does this feed into it or not? And the reality is on the surface of it, maybe this opportunity, even though it looks good, would be financially very lucrative, maybe it doesn't feed in to what my big objective is. And obviously we're going to need to have more conversations around it and see if or not it does work. But if it doesn't, then I am going to have to say, no, this isn't the right thing for me right now. And I think that when we hold our big vision, and it's not about never being flexible, it's not about, that vision not evolving ever, but when we're clear on what it is, it means that we don't end up going down a path that isn't relevant for us. hey Danny, it means that we don't go down a path where in 6 months' time you may be doing a project that feels really exciting but it's not lighting you up. And I think that really connecting with your why and your vision is so important. So it was like there was a lady today talking about her book and wanting to get it into as many hands as possible. And I was like, if that's your key objective, then you need to do free promotions. And then she was like, yeah, but if I do free promotions, then I'm not going to get my rankings on Amazon. And I said, yeah, but that doesn't matter if your key objective is to get it into as many hands as possible. You know, both things are not completely intertwined. I'm going to walk this way because there's loads of cars now, and I don't know if you can't hear me, let me know. Weird that you should pop up into my Facebook. It's not weird, Danny. You know that there are no coincidences. Hey, Anya. Yes, I'm on live. And I've just pronounced your name correctly, so we're winning. But the two things are not related. So Amazon rankings, whilst ultimately that will mean more people will buy your books, you know, being that number one bestseller is more, so there is some ego in there, which is absolutely fine. But it's also about, if that's your objective, when you write your book, you have to look at your search terms. You have to look at what the title is that you're calling it. You have to look at the competitive books in your niche and see, you know, what are the popular key search words, those types of things. They are the things that will get you those Amazon rankings. But if it's about getting your book and getting your message into as many places as possible, then it's absolutely fine to run free promos. So be really, really clear on that. Now, this ties into the making the difficult decisions. When you are absolutely sure on what your big vision is, you then filter the decisions that you have to make. Is this taking me one step closer? Okay, yep. Or is it taking me one step away? If it's taking you away and it doesn't feel good, then don't do it. And just to extend on that a little bit, because people are kind of losing their shit this morning all around book marketing and should they go with a publisher and all of this stuff. And I think that this is really applicable to anything that you are trying out and it's not you're outside of your comfort zone because you're doing things that you've never done before. Stop trying to look at the whole picture. Stop trying to be 10 steps ahead of where you are and focus on what the next best, the next right step is. And just nail the next right step, maybe potentially next 2 steps. But the minute you try and map out everything that you are possibly going to have to take into consideration when you're looking at a field that you're not familiar with, it is absolutely paralysing. It's overwhelming because you can't get your head around the things that you don't know. And the reality is that when we are in alignment with our big vision and we're really, really, we're feeling good and we're vibing high and we're just taking the next right step and we're talking about it and we're sharing about it and we're excited about it, people, circumstances, environments unfold that you cannot possibly imagine that will serve you and will help you get to wherever you are going to get to. Hey Lauren, you have inspired part of this post today, so rewind and go back. But this, I don't know whether you just heard that, but that last bit is just so important for you. Stop trying to know all of the steps because you won't do anything. It's too scary. It's too overwhelming. You just have to think, what's my key objective and what's the one next thing that I can do that is going to get me a little bit closer? And then just do that thing. You are very good there are lots of very good examples on this stream, in the Baby Business School, in the pre and postnatal group, where crazy shit has happened. just because they've been in the right place at the right time. It's funny, isn't it, how many times we're in the right place at the right time when we're completely aligned with what it is that we're doing, and somebody says, let me take that off your plate for you. Let me show you how I did it. Let me, assist you in this way, that way, in whatever way. And all of a sudden, you're on stage doing a TEDx talk, or you have a book publishing deal, or there was absolutely, when I self-published a Calm Birth School book, I just bought a book and I took one stage at a time. And yes, I probably could have done it better. Probably there was an optimal way to do it that I didn't do it, but that is experience. So this time when I relaunch, I will do it better. And the next time I have a book, I will do that better. So let's, rather than aiming for perfection, let's just aim to stay on path with what the goal is and take the next best step. Somebody just phoned me. Right, so look, I'm going to get some Easter eggs and I'm going to go and get some cowpole, and I'm going to leave that with you ladies. And yes, post your questions, comments, and I will pop back later to answer anything that comes up. Mwah. Lauren's just saying, just had the convo with Jem and he said you should just write the book and I'll research all the rest. There we go. But chill out about it. Right, mwah. Love ya, bye.